here. Okay, guys. Hello and welcome to OMG Real Talk with your host, Anna Miss Thing, and of course, you know I'm Blossom. So, how is everybody today on this Father's Day? Hey! Well, I actually just want to let you know I decided to give me a Father's Day. Let me show you. There. That's what I had for my Father's Day. Yeah. I treated myself to cheesecake because usually I make my own, and my one's actually better than that. But unfortunately, I was busy, so I couldn't make one. But just in case you ever feel like, having a go, it's really good. Anyway, that's my promotion. So today, what are we talking about? Hey, it's Father's Day, guys. So to all of you males out there, happy Father's Day, okay? And for all of you women that seem to claim because there's no father, you're a father. I don't know how. Happy Father's Day. Sorry, I'm one of those women that I'm like, no, I'm the mama. Yeah, this is how we roll, and I ain't shy. So I got a great bunch of guests on for you, and they're all going to share you their different experiences of having or not having, I hasten to add, a father. So let me just break it down. For me, it's Father's Day. No, it's not. Why is it not Father's Day for me? Because my dad passed 19 years ago. And I often forget that it's Father's Day. Not intentionally, but I don't have that connection. I do have the remembrance. And of course, I miss my dad. So if any of you guys who have looked on Facebook, looked on Instagram, I've posted the picture of me and my dad. I think that's one of the last pictures that we have. And, it's like, it's still hard sometimes, even though it's 19 years later. But you know what? I'm still a daddy's girl, and it is what it is. Yeah. So let us move to our lovely guest. So we're going to go with the guest hiding first. So would you let us know your name, please? Guest number one. Go for it, female. Guest number one. That's you. Yes, you. Mm-hmm. And your name?
Shari Bird.
Okay. And guest number two? That's you. Jaquan Bird. Okay. And our beautiful guest on screen with me tonight, guest number three. And what's your name?
Rue.
Okay, fantastic. So are all of you shy? But I'm just going to assume, because you don't look all young and youthful and budding, that you're in the age range of 19 to 39, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so I answered that question for you. Yes. Okay, guys. So first question for you tonight. Please tell us your family makeup growing up, whether you were in a two-parent or a single-parent home, and if you had siblings. So we're going to do Rue first, and you let us know. And I'm excited because you're not from here, are you, Rue?
No, I'm exotic. No, I'm not. Yeah.
You are exotic. Where are you from?
I am Zimbabwean.
You're Zimbabwean. Did you hear that? Oh, she's from the motherland. Hello.
Yes.
That's right. And what was it like as a child growing up in Zimbabwe with your parent, with your father?
So I come from a two-parent home. So I grew up with both my mom and dad being present in my life. But I think that there are a lot of things I feel like I had to unlearn, and a lot of things that I had to teach my parents, after a certain age, because I feel like there are a lot of cultural inhibitors to like having genuine relationships with your parents. And I don't know, I feel like I had a very westernized childhood, even though my parents themselves might have had a traditional childhood. So it's like we had very different expectations of the relationship. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think.
So you mean from young Rue, you were one of those children that didn't realize that saying, you see the child but you don't hear the child, you were like,
No,
I
no,
have a
that
question.
definitely no. And I think my parents too weren't that traditional, but all they
Okay,
had known was tradition, if that makes sense.
okay, that's
So
cool.
yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I have two other siblings, so I have a brother and a sister, and I'm the youngest. So yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay, so going on to Shari, because we'll do ladies first. Sorry, Jaquan, we know you're a gentleman. What's your family makeup?
Um, I grew up in a single parent household with no siblings. Sounds sad, don't it?
Oh, you were an only child. You were spoiled. I totally
Uh-huh.
understand. Yes, you were. Okay. Okay, Jaquan, what about you?
Um, well, four, five, well, a brother and two sisters.
Okay, so
So
you have siblings. Okay,
four
there's
kids,
four of you. Uh-huh.
and then with a stepdad,
Okay, that's
which is
cool.
like half of the time. 'Cause at first, it was just us,
Right, right.
a single mom, and then he came, after. So it's half of my life basically,
Okay, cool, cool.
childhood life, I should say.
Childhood life. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so here's the big question. So I can see the dynamics, which is really awesome. We've got three scenarios here. So we've got Rue that was born into a two-parent family and had her dad right up to when she decided to leave home and do whatever. And then we've had Shari, who's born into a single-parent household. And then Jaquan, you were blessed to experience having single parenting and a stepfather, so you know both households, if you see what I mean. Right,
Hmm.
that's really cool. So for you, if you didn't have, the big question, did you have your father in your life growing up? And the reason why I say that, having working with children and young people, they can be a father in the house but he's never in, so the child doesn't actually have a relationship. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
So the question is, going to you, Rue, first. Did you have your father in your life? Did you have a relationship with him?
Yeah, definitely. I would
Okay.
say that. The dynamics definitely evolved, but yeah, he was in my life. Yeah, he was in my life. I mean, initially, because my dad is like a workaholic, and so I would say in that sense, I think your question's quite good in that probably when I was younger, he was working so much that for what a young child, I guess, would tradition like would have in a father playing with them and all that stuff. I never
Right.
had that because he was always working. But I guess once I could communicate and, do more than just, be like babysat, then yeah, we definitely then had a relationship.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So, what about you, Shari? Did you have your father in your life?
I don't know. He was there, but he wasn't there. Like I knew who he was, but he wasn't like involved in my life. But I knew who he was, and if I wanted to call him, I could
Okay.
call him.
Okay. Okay. And then what about you, Jacon? How was it for you?
When the stepdad came around, it was good. I can definitely feel the difference between having both parents in the household.
Right.
It was good,
Right.
and just the balance of mom and dad. It was good.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, for me, I can say, even though I was daddy's girl, as you lot know, people that know me, my mum's she kind of crunk, and so I don't know what my dad did. He must have ticked her off, but she's like, "You got to go." So, anyway, I knew my dad, but he didn't live with us. But I had the experiences of loving that he would always come for me on the weekends, and spending that time. Um, and so for me, I didn't grow with him, but I grew of him, if that makes sense. So, I wouldn't have had those great interactions of like sitting on his knee in the evening or reading the paper with him in that stage. That happened later when actually I was older. But growing up in the household, that actually wasn't the case. So, next question for you guys. Oh, I'm excited. This is good. So, here we have, what would you say have been the challenges, if any, that you have faced growing up without a father figure in your life? and that would then go to Shari, because currently you're the one that's experienced that. Have you had any challenges? Or do you think, because you might not?
I don't know. I don't think I really had much challenges, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I would say the most challenge that I go through, and I don't go through that anymore, it was just as a kid that I just really wanted a dad so bad. And I just wanted to experience that home life with my father and my mom in the same household.
Okay.
Other than that, I feel like anything that came across my way, other than like father and daughter dances, because I am father,
Right.
I didn't really have any challenges. No.
Okay, okay. Well, I hear you. I mean, that's better. So, Jaquan, you said yours was better when your stepfather came. I mean, did you find it challenging before he came, and then he kind of gave you the balance, or was it like you guys were cool, and then when he came, it was like, yes, this is great. It's an added bonus.
Yeah, I mean, the challenges were single mom and working and not being there as much as she would like to.
Right, right.
So with the dad being there, was always balance. One of you guys at home, or when it was both of them, it was good as well. And then, like you said about mom, sometimes mom can be crunk, and I had one of those moms too. So when she got like that, and he was at work or something like that, when he came home, yes, it was. I remember it being like exciting.
Okay, because you were like, save me, daddy, please save me. Yeah, okay.
That goes back to just that balance,
Yes, which you do need that. And I think sometimes, which we're going to address actually, the differences in the male and female role within the parenting is really important. Hey, Trey, how are you? So, okay, so here's a question that I know some people don't like. What responsibility do you think it is of parents to ensure balanced parenting for their children? Because at the end of the day, a child does not ask to be born. The parents choose to have the child, which is amazing and is a blessing. But then from there, they've got things to do up until at least 18. So, what responsibility do you think, Rue, is it of the parents to ensure balanced parenting?
Well, what do you mean by balanced parenting?
Okay, so one of the problems that we have, let's just look at our Black communities, is that we see that there's a lot of dysfunction because they say we've got more young boys in gang culture or, unemployed or whatever, because they haven't had that male role model for them to see how to continue to go through into manhood and the challenges. Because a woman cannot teach a man about how to be a man. That's just impossible. So, they're saying that, but working with some parents are miserable and some are better. I'm just putting it out there that we've got some females that got issues. Okay. And so when them and the man are no longer together, the child suffers because the woman now uses the child as a pawn to get at the man. And especially if the man goes and gets a new girlfriend or even gets married, Lord have mercy, to a woman scorned. Then, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel is the balance that parents should bring into their children's lives? I mean, if we think about it, there are many who their parents have passed away. So like orphans, children who are in care. Do you see what I'm saying? When they go into foster care, one of the things that I worked in child services is we teach the carers about bringing them a home life balance, because their life was so, discombobulated before they came into your household.
Well, I think
when you have mom and dad there.
No. So even if you don't have, the father, how do you still impart into your child the loving kindness and joyfulness of being a great human being, and knowing even though your dad's not here for whatever reason, it's not your dad, it could be the behavior as to why. Like I can say for me, single parenting for me, I hated it. It's not my thing, but I did it. And one of the reasons is because my daughter's dad's behavior I was not willing to live with because I wanted to live, and he was too gangster for my liking. So, so that was a choice I had to make because I didn't want every time the door knocked, I had to think, is it a gun or the police? That wasn't my life. Do you see what I'm saying? So I made that choice. But, so where would you say then, Jaquan, as the man, that the balance is? You are a father, correct? Right. So as a father, what do you need your child's life? So when you see her later on, she's a happy young woman. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what you said the word. I mean, that's what she got to see. Parent be happy. Just to see you just being the best you can be. A child is going to follow more than they, lead, of course, and they're gonna follow what they see more than what you tell them.
Right.
So I just feel like to have that good balance, like you say, you just gotta try. I always look at it like being a superhero.
Okay.
Like, try to aim for that. Of course, this is fiction. The superhero is fiction, but you just aim for that. And then I feel like your child have no choice but to be that as well.
Okay, awesome. So then, Rue, like for you, what did your father impart for you that you made you now? I mean, because you that fly chick, you some highfalutin kind of chick. Because people don't know about you got some braids there, So, and your father must have encouraged you and supported you and mum to go out. You were brave enough to leave your Zimbabwe and come to another country. Do you see what I mean? Not everybody can do that, and people don't look at that as something courageous. But to leave what you know and your comfort zone to go to somewhere else, that's not easy.
No, it's not. Well, the thing is, I feel like I'm not a parent as yet, but I feel like parenting is one of those super personal things. Like what you are is what you create for the most part. Like the tools you have are the tools that you will impart on your children. So I think I'm really broody at the moment, and I think about parenting quite a lot. So, so I don't know.
They gob and they poo. Anyway, sorry.
But it's so rewarding, and I guess
so gob and poo? No.
The expectation.
They do free nasty stuff. Gob, poo, and poo.
No. Drop them off somewhere. But
whatever.
The expectation that I have are that basically what I have to be as wholesome a human being as I can be, with the limitations that I have to raise my kids. And I look at my parents, and I there's some parts that obviously I'm critical of. There's things that maybe I needed that they didn't have the tools to equip me with. But for the things that they imparted, it's largely the things that they have. So my dad is super ambitious, and that's kind of his personality. He's very much like a coach dad. So like you have to do well in school, you have to, be competitive and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I got from him. And like it's served me well. But then I think that's why I was asking you what you meant by balance, because then it's like that's one aspect of life. But there are other things too that maybe I didn't get that I wish I got from a dad, like affection. But to like be affectionate with an African dad is like so uncomfortable for him. Like I remember maybe 5 years ago, I was like, oh my God, my dad and I, we don't hug, we don't kiss. And I started consciously being tactile with him, and I could tell that it was so uncomfortable for him, but I'm like, I'm not going to stop, because this is what I need. Like, if I'm not going to see you for a year plus, I want to hug you, because I don't know what could happen. So now we hug.
That's a cultural thing, because no, my daddy was a hugger. Do you hug, Japan? You hug, or have you experienced?
I think everything is a cultural thing, and what the last person did before you and what that last person did before them. Everything is like that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, we hug.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that you need to have a minimum of 7 hugs a day to be happy? Did you know that?
Yeah,
So
I think I
this,
knew
this
that.
COVID-19's got people losing their mind because you're supposed to be hugging people. Hug with a
Jeez,
mask
Evan
on.
Hunt.
Hug with a mask. But yeah, so
That's true. You know, like we can't be affectionate no more like that. You know, to other
Mm.
people.
that's right.
Handshake and all that stuff. That's another conversation.
You can fist pump. You can say yeah. I mean, come on. We had the COVID-19 down greeting on lock. Us black folks. Look, we go yeah.
Oh yeah.
And remember, and you got the one on the street. Yeah. You know the nod. So we got this. We didn't need COVID to come and teach us like how we needed to be. That makes sense. We already had that on lockdown. But I mean, okay. So, oh yeah, so and Kerry's saying that it's definitely a cultural thing. Our parents don't hug. Let me give you a joke. My mom, oh my gosh, if you go to hug my mama, she go to freak out. When I was little, she never hugged me or nothing. I do not remember that. But now, and she's so little and cute, I just like to just hug on her. But then, like with my dad, he was different. He would come and he would pick me up and throw me, and
See,
oh my gosh, experience of just like hugging your daddy's daddy. You're
Mm.
just excited, So I definitely can see where that difference is. Okay, so we can see that we got some cultural issue. We're gonna have to work on that. We're gonna have to come to hug people. We gotta hug.
Yeah, you gotta hug them.
So, all right. So, do you think then that growing up without a father can have an adverse impact on a woman or a man and how they interact with the opposite sex in adulthood?
Mm.
So, if you don't have your father figure around, and it could be an uncle or whatever, do you think that would impact you in how you relate with the opposite sex? So, Jaquan, you're shaking your head. Go ahead. What do you think?
Definitely. Just you mean like okay, so me not having a dad and then watching like my uncle, I watched him be a better dad
Okay.
than a lot of people I'm around.
Right.
So I feel like that definitely helped. I mean, stuff that I watched him do was always stuff I always be back in my head thinking. Even as a child, way before I had a kid, I'm thinking like, wow, when I have a child, when I get older and have a child, I'm gonna do that.
Right. Okay.
These were things that had rubbed off on me even when I was like 10 years old.
Wow, that's important. What about you, Shari? What do you think? Do you think not having your father in your life had an impact on how you relate to the opposite sex, or what do you think?
Yeah.
What?
I feel like I'm more needy.
So you're more what?
Needy.
You're more needy. Okay, I can see that because you haven't had that balanced interaction. So what about you, Rue? When you speaking to the opposite sex, are you like I don't need to ask you. You bold because you already like. I just love Rue. She's just like that warrior princess that you just like go forth and take up the world.
To me, I didn't know that that's how I come off. But thank you.
I just love your aura. It's amazing.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah. So so how do you interact then? Are you I'm not scared. Maybe I got issues because I never wanted to be a princess when I was growing up. I ain't got time for that fluffy dress madness.
Oh.
I was always a tomboy. I like to wear my sneakers and my jeans and and I was and I was a rough rider and I was Tupac, DMX. I wasn't interested in these fluffy girls. My days was like Wu-Tang and all that things. So I definitely was not interested. It was when Eve came out and then made like, hip hop and rap look kind of sexy, look cute. I was like, oh, okay. You can kind of look, Eve was like the first.
Look a little bit gangster and a little bit cute.
But you look cute still. And then Aaliyah came and then, and then TLC. That's when you kind of could do hip hop and look kind of crunk, cute. But apart from that, before you had to be in your Jesus, so I was not interested. So, like I hear women used to say, oh, I've been dreaming about getting married what? I've been dreaming about going in a plane. I'm excited, so I don't know if maybe not having that interaction with my dad on a consistent basis didn't let me feel that I want to have those interactions with a man when I'm older. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
So I was more about taking the world by storm.
Mm.
That kind of thing is so funny though, because it's like if you have that interaction when you're young, you're used to it. So when you're older, do you feel like I need that because I'm used to it?
Okay.
And then when you were young, if you didn't have it, when you get older, do you feel like I need that more because I didn't have it when I was young?
Right.
So I think that kind of depends on you. I think so.
So I'm miserable. That's what you're saying. Okay. No, I'm messing with
The
you.
way you look at it, like I crave being a dad. I didn't have a dad.
Oh,
You know,
okay. That's
and
interesting.
what if I had a dad all my life? It could have been like, oh, dad is just nothing. It's natural. You know, it's so natural.
Right.
But me and other people I'm around didn't have a dad, so that was natural.
Right. Right.
When you had a dad, it was like, oh, I got a dad.
Yeah. So in other words, we was in the single mom crew. So we didn't. So when you had a dad, you were like, oh, you a new entity. Where you dad come from?
Mm. I get that because I remember when my friends would come over.
Could you imagine? One of our guests said, "I'm just special." Well, I am special. I blossom. Don't do me, okay? Don't do me. But no, okay. Let's move on. See, this is juicy. People don't really realize the interactions and the impact that having father figures in our lives does. So, do you think the experience of growing with or without your father has impacted you or changed your life, how you look on the world? Would you say that?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's hard to say, right? Because I don't know any different. So,
Okay,
so
true.
I,
You don't know any different.
yeah,
Okay.
I have no way of measuring, what the benefits have been of having him, or if, or if he wasn't there.
Okay, so here's a go-to question. I know for my dad, he was a beast with finances. So one of the
Mhm.
reasons why I miss him is when I want to do something financial or business wise, I could go to my dad. He would hook me up. What's your go-to for your dad? So you would know if he wasn't there. Do you see what I mean?
Oh yes.
That's what would you miss?
Okay,
That's
so
what would you
I'd be a completely different person then. If you
ah,
say
do you see
that,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mm.
Okay.
That takes away a lot. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'd be
So,
completely different.
what do you think? So now that I've put that to you, what do you think then if your dad, for you who had your dad, could you imagine life without him in certain areas?
Wow, yeah, that's actually so heavy because no, I couldn't. And I think that like for us, the biggest thing that my dad brought is obviously like the pride in the name, because
Mhm.
that's like it's a quintessential patriarchal thing to be like you're a Mahachi or whatever you are.
It's
And
okay. I can tell you, my dad, you're a Ross. You're
yes,
a Ross. You're
yes,
a Ross. No,
exactly,
you're a Ross. And you'd be
exactly.
like, okay.
So yeah, for literally everything. And it's so, I mean, it's not even, when you think about it, it's not even a real thing, because what is a Mahachi anyway? But when you're growing up and your father
It's
has
the
this
people.
passion, yeah,
Yeah.
for your family and all the things that they believe a Mahachi should be, then you kind of take to it. So yeah,
Right, right.
it's a thing.
No, that's cool. So what about Udricon? How do you feel for the same question? What do you wish was there? Like for your father, if he was there, like so do you think the experience of growing without your dad has impacted you or made and had a change in your life than when if he was no you I mean you said that you've had a father figure, so why is this? Right. Uh, Sorry, hold on. Let me I might have to call you back. For some reason the volume has gone because you can't hear him, can you, Rue?
No, it's really faint.
Right, okay. Hold on. Let me call you back very quickly because for some reason I don't know what happened. It just went really low. Um yeah, say something now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, definitely. Testing. Yes. So what was so you were saying? Sorry, you said something about the negative.
That's fine. So what I was saying was, yeah, it was an impact. Like I said, just watching the work ethic.
Right.
That was definitely a role model in that way.
Okay.
Like I said, he was a chef. So he could make food really well. I remember any little function he had, whether it was birthdays or
Okay.
4th of July, things like that.
Right.
He'd be the one to grill all the time, doing that kind of thing. So
that's cool. What about you? What about you, Shari? What do you think? Did not having a father figure in your life, do you think it's impacted you and made you make decisions that maybe you would have made differently if you'd have had that father figure to go to for advice or something?
I think the only way that my father, like not having my father, has ever had an impact in my life is with my relationship. Other than that, everything else, my mom took care of that. It was perfectly fine.
Oh dear. Okay then. Wow. Okay. Well, let's move on to our final question. Okay. So now we're talking about life in general. When we look at society, what most concerns you about absentee parents, and how do you think we as a people can change this? And when you look at the demographics of life, sadly, it looks like the Black community have the most absentee fathers. And it isn't that it's necessarily the case, but when I do look at the statistics of the incarcerations of men, also, we've lost a lot of men to gang and police brutality. Did you see what I mean? Like, our ratio of men to others is less because of what has happened to us, if you see what I mean.
yeah.
So, how do you think for us as a people, these absentee parents and fathers, what can we change in our society? When I was growing up, there was always this thing, and I truly believe it takes a village to grow a child. So if we've got half of the village missing, then how are we growing the children?
Yeah.
So your thoughts, Rufus?
Fight the system.
Fight the system. Okay.
Yeah. Because if it's an external threat that's like destroying our communities, then we need to address it. Like, we need to figure out how we can avoid that mass incarceration. Like, I feel like Black people, like, we know the issues, but we haven't mobilized. People haven't sat down to be like, guys, everyone is aware of what's going on. How do we strategize? What's the plan? What happens to we know that people are growing up without their fathers? So what does that mean for our community? How do we consolidate that? What do we do? And how do we avoid people getting arrested? Like, these are things we actually need to strategize.
Totally agree. Japan, what do you think?
Pretty much what Brew was saying, and just to bounce off of it, I mean, it's just what you are taught, basically. I mean, it starts at home, and like she's saying, we know all these ways to fall into the system, or not to get in the system, but still fall for it. And it's just like sometimes it's education, or the lack of education.
Right.
I think even these guys that hit 18 is nothing. I've never been 18. That's like that's like being 10 years old again. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you coming into an adult, but at the same time, it's so young.
Okay.
And I feel like even when I remember that age, there's so much I did not know about like law and stuff like that. So it's just like
That's
you gotta
true.
be
Yeah,
educated.
that's true.
You gotta be educated at home.
Right. Oh, and we have a question from one of our audience. They're saying that they think that our communities are afraid to address it because they don't have some of the answers or don't even want to admit that we have a problem. So, Kerry, that's a deep one. I totally agree with that as well. Um, you know, Shari, you looking at it as well. How do you see the impact that it's having on our community? I mean, I will tell you, from me working as an educator, it saddens me sometimes to see some of my boys come, and I know that they're confused, and the thing that they need, I really can't give it to them because they need that baritone in that voice to tell them, well, yeah, boy, I know how this feels. I cannot tell you.
Oh. Hello. Um, can you hear them, Brittany? Am I on? I think we've lost Anna. Is she back? I think we're having technical difficulties. Everyone hang tight, please.
Not even love.
So,
I'm actually like you don't know this.
okay, so, all right, you got We got one last excuse to the bird. Thank you. We got. Oh, hey, Ruth.
Hey.
Are you back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, yes, we lost her, but I'm back, people. I'm back. Give you a joke. Okay, it's supposed to say. Well, I did. I didn't even get a chance to say, and that was gone. So the as we were in the Shari, you were telling us what you think we as a community could do to make changes.
To make what?
Changes. So that we don't have this.
I feel like the fathers who are there for the children should come together and do something like for other children.
Okay, about Black men, we've got those organizations. We do have organizations for men. I don't know if that most interactions that because children go to school 5 days a week. Yeah. Then in a week, moms go to church, so you could do church. Do you see what I mean? And I think these organizations, these places where in school, in churches, after school clubs, they should have males that are there to model, to be role model mentors. The go-to person for a young person to go to and say, well, Mr. So and so was like that. It does make a difference.
Yeah.
Choking. Oh no, I need some water. So now we got showbiz thing, and now I'm choking. I gotta live. This is not the time to die right now. So I don't know all kind of. Oh my Lord, Jesus. But yes, so, but yeah, so that's my thoughts. I feel that we need around and in families. You know, you have a nephew or a cousin who's younger, and you can then go and hang out with them once a week. I think it's a duty of our family also try and ensure that our male counterparts are not left with just the females. Because don't get me wrong, females are strong. We as women are very powerful to a Black man so he can continue to build the race, which I believe is the fear of why we are going through what people and our Black men felt secure in current identity, then we would have less people feeling insecure and concerned and what things. They would then build generational wealth. So then our men wouldn't desire to get quick money. You know, so young boys think, I don't know how I'm going to get a job. It's too hard. I haven't got the education. I'm going to go and sell me some weed. They start off with class A and it builds up, you know. But if they saw fathers and male counterparts going out into the workforce, do you see what I mean? Going into being, I mean, if we had more police officers, Black male police officers, that would help. That means there will be less of the other counterparts trying to get at us, because we should have more people of us in there that understand and can relate, you know. So I think it's really important that, yeah, you know, I think it's really important that we as a people come together honestly and start, as you said, Rue, strategizing on how we can build our communities. Because I think once we have our communities, which was how it was years ago, we will see our people flourish. You know, just this, you know, we've had Juneteenth, then we got, you know, what's this thing with Black Wall Street? We shouldn't have to, because we're a community, we should have been expanding on it. Do you see what I'm saying? It shouldn't be on a Taylor, almost Aubrey, you know, all these things that we're like, no, this is too, we shouldn't wait.
Absolutely.
Like we've been this. Like I keep getting on my soapbox. I look at our entertainment. We have some really affluent and well, they have a voice out there. Say something. Put forward for us. The need, so that, you know, like Denzel Washington and, you know, Oprah Winfrey, things like this. If they speak, people will listen.
Well, yeah. You know, we just got one.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick. He's the only one.
Oh.
He started his protest. I mean, he had others join him.
Yeah.
So he got everyone to now. But it's no one else that.
They want the NFL to go and pay Kaepernick for his whole 4 years that they took from him.
Blackball.
I want them to say, my boy, my dude, we wronged you. Here's a check. Thank you. It wouldn't be good enough, but it would still show. Do you know what I mean? Because they blocked him from getting a job anywhere else. So if that's his profession, they blocked him from his job.
But I'm saying, if they did it in their own unique way, could you imagine a lot of celebrities done that?
Like, right.
Oh, I'm not going to show like Oprah my network anymore, or you know what? Every time you look at go to my channel, it's gonna be black. You know, something like that. Like blackout.
Right.
Any kind of way to protest or to make change, like you said, it starts from them. Their voice is stronger than ours. Definitely.
You know, and more people, I feel, will listen, you know. But hey, that's my dream, you know, that more people with a voice will use their voice, but not that we wait for the big shots. We also need to use our voice. If we come together as a collective, we're able to use our voice, you know, and be with there for people. So I'm just hoping that I'm hoping that this is not the end. Because one thing I noticed with us as a people as well, rise up. We rise up. Whoa! And then you know what I mean? You're like, hey, the cause hasn't finished yet. The cause hasn't finished. But everything's quiet again, you know, because we're at peace. It's okay. And I'm hoping that they don't let this be okay. They do say, all right, we have had enough. Okay, we protested. You can only do so much protest. Now take affirmative action.
Yes.
Let's move forward. Let's work together. Let's do these kind of things, you know, and stuff like that. That's my desire for us as a people. So do any of you want to add any last words on how we can? And then the last question, actually, which you all have, is what is your belief system and what has and keeps you positive that even with or without your father, you are still what you did have, if any, and what you, even if you didn't have, you're still an amazing person, because you all are anyway, but that's not the point. So What do you have? Those last words. What's your belief system? What do you think moving forward?
Oh, my belief system on parenting.
Yeah, what keeps you positive? So you've had your dad. So what kept you positive?
I don't know. I think that I'm generally someone who likes to learn from the way people have lived to kind of help me figure out how I'm going to live. So
Okay.
I think my belief system is connecting with people and talking to a variety of people and hearing from different people who've had different experiences, So that's like this, like what we're doing now. I think
Okay.
it's
Awesome.
good that we've had an assorted amount, assorted details of people's upbringing, and because I don't think either is superior to the other. So we
Right.
all learn different things from each other. So I think
Right.
this is
Okay.
what works.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Javon? Your last words? What was your belief system? How do you think, what kept you positive to move forward, to be the great dad? Oh, hold on, guys. I forgot. We're talking to a real father on here. We got to hail him out. Happy Father's Day, Charles.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, I forgot. I forget these things sometimes. Like I said, not depressed. But yeah, we're picking up the phones. Woo
Whoop, whoop.
I take a little bit of everything really to just keep the growth of being a father. The stuff I did have, what I didn't have, the things I wish I had, and maybe I try to keep taking, which I try. You know,
awesome.
the holidays and things like that. Then I grew up some, not a lot.
Uh-huh.
So it's things like that that just motivate me. Um, for
Yeah,
what I
that's
didn't
true.
have or did have.
Yeah,
It's
that's
always
true.
motivation.
You,
Always.
you, you don't think about those things. Holidays for some people are important. Thanksgiving, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all this kind of stuff. Kerry was saying that she thought that, that I was a Watson. Yeah, I'm both. Okay, don't do me. I'm Crunk. I'm a Ross and a Watson. Okay, but what it is that don't try and do me. I heard you in the background. Building those memories
Mm.
and that I think that's what we're missing as well. If you look at our great grandparents, whoever, it was things down. They handed down cultures, they handed down traditions, handed down stuff to us that made us who we are. The ancestors gave us things that we could carry on to be the next generation and the next generation. And I think some of us, yeah, someone else is saying they miss the old time traditions. Yeah,
Mm.
we lose some of that. Like family, eating on Sundays, all the
Mm.
family together. That's true. I kind of do miss that. The house would be loud, everyone, but I don't want to do all the cooking though. That's the thing. So, but we miss that. The plaiting of the hair. The mothers plaiting their children's hairs where they taught the women and they guided them stuff. The sons going out with their fathers to help them in the field or in the when they're making stuff, building, those things are being lost. And you would tell of the great stories of kings and queens that we had in our cultures. We don't hear that because we have to pass it down.
Yeah.
It's very rare that someone's going to hand you a history book and say, this is your history and it's a great past, go forth. We're not going to get that, not in the West. It has to be handed down. And I think we're losing that essence of, so that's my thought anyway. I kind of get reminiscent on this. I'm into history. So, Shari, the last, to you and that question again, like, what's your belief system and what's kept you positive all these years that you felt, oh my gosh, Kerry, why? Yes, porridge and fried dumpling. Yes, that used to bake those to us. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, and you make the cocoa tea. Sorry, I'm just going back now.
She's taking you there. Yeah.
And what's kept you positive and probably not, not having those interactions?
You.
Oh my gosh. So for you, your mum has kept you positive.
Yes, my mom definitely got me through this, and I feel like I don't.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I've always looked at is I believe in team players. I look at the dynamics and I think even in teaching now in the classroom, you don't have one teacher anymore. You have two. You have the teacher and you have a teacher's assistant. They've identified that a class needs two teachers minimum. Now, if there's a child with special educational needs, that child needs more. What do? We bring in a assistant for the child with special. So do you see what I'm saying on that balance? And even in the animal kingdom, when you look at it, I love animals, and I look at stuff like the birds. Oh my gosh, they amaze me. You know why I think I knew I would have been a bird? Because birds, they ain't trifling. They stay together until death do us part. Okay. And when I'm out on my morning walks and I watch the birds, oh my gosh, they're just all lovey-dovey, and I'm like, okay, get a room, why don't you? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's so cool. You see them together and they take turns to nurture the chicks. So you see one fly off, one bird stays, bring the food, the next one goes. Do you see what I mean? So even in nature, you see, it's a team. I believe, even though you can do it on your own, of course you can. I believe for the child to get that positive balance so that they know how to interact with the opposite sex, and even just how to interact if there's male situations, maybe not being so vulnerable and innocent to when maybe a male is actually not being appropriate because you're used to what a man should be. Then you're like, that ain't right. My brother don't behave like that. My dad don't behave like that. I'm not feeling that. You need to stop that. Do you see what I mean? So it's those interactions where you have no clue. So you're like, okay. And they tell you foolishness. And that will put that female in harm's way, So, but for, I just think even with all this adversity, I just love us. And I'm just going to say, I don't care. We rock. We are the most powerful, amazing people. For all that we have gone through and been gone through, and we are still here smiling.
Yes.
It's so crazy.
There is no other nation or race of people on this planet that can do and overcome what we have.
With so much sauce.
A little scratch on the nice car.
There you go.
Should be where the car is on the way.
That's right. So I just want to say to you guys, because we've gone over our time. I am so appreciative of you guys for joining me in this convo. Father's Day. All of you fathers out there, you rock. All of you that are interactive. Yes, we are proud to be Black. Yes, we got someone on there saying we're proud to be Black. It's just keep up the good work. It does get tough. The children can give you talking, but just love on them. And one thing I do believe is that, like we all said, our parents were not as affectionate. So it kind of made us a bit colder and distant to then when we need to show affection. Let us try and change that, and be more huggy, interactive. Don't forget, you need 7 hugs a day, people. 7. So you can feel loved. So if you get 1, you lack in 6. Okay. So if you get none, oh my gosh, you want hug alert. You're like, I need a hug. Okay. So no, but I really appreciate you guys' input. It has been a blessing. Sorry for the technical failure.
That's fine. Thank you for having us.
But it was a pleasure working with you guys today. So thank you so much. And to all of you who are listening in and gave your input, we thank you as well. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's been a blast.
All right. Awesome. Have a great one, guys. And a great week. See
You
you guys.
too. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye.